Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting Phil Agrios. He's a self-sabotage specialist, consultant, international speaker, and best-selling author. How you doing today, Phil?
I'm doing awesome, Anthony. Thanks so much for allowing me to be on your show.
Yeah, no, I was super excited after we talked to have you back on. I think a lot of people need to hear what you do because a lot of us kind of fall into some categories that you might be able to help. So, where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
I'm in Jersey, over here on the shore.
Okay, awesome. You've been there your whole life, or you newer there?
Yeah, I'm born, raised, practiced here for 35 years, and now switched over to doing this now and having some fun. And a little chilly today. We're in the 20s, but it is what it is.
You guys get any snow yet, or is it just cold?
No, we're possibly this Thursday, so who knows? But they're saying that snow may be more in the future here than it was in the last couple of years.
Yeah, we got a little bit last night and today. Wasn't expecting it at all, so
Well,
surprised.
New York got 8 feet. I mean, she's
Yeah, they can
it's all
keep it.
too much.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take. I think we had an inch or two. So,
Yeah,
but
I'm good with that.
yeah, awesome. So, what's fun out there? I've never made it all the way up to where you're at. What do you recommend somebody do if they're first time there?
Well, absolutely. The Jersey Shore, there's miles and miles of it. Beautiful beaches. We have mountains. You can ski here, golfing. There's farms, Jersey tomatoes, blueberries, corn. Um, People don't realize, they think of Jersey up north where they're flying into Newark and seeing the factories there, but uh, Jersey is a garden state and it's for a reason. And people that visit, the Garden State Park is beautiful, especially now with all the trees. It's just trees. That's all you see. And now they're all turning. But yeah, Jersey has a lot to do here. So great food, um, good people, and so they can do anything they want. But yeah, the Jersey Shore is the main attraction, but they have like great adventure. They have so many different things here.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out sometime. It's on the list with many. So,
Yeah.
so awesome. So, what can you tell us about what you do?
So I used to be a chiropractor and a functional medicine practitioner. My specialty was thyroid and autoimmune disease. And during the years, I just happened to stumble across something that took about 30 years to figure out. So I was able to discover an inborn sabotaging trait. This trait you're born with, you don't get rid of it. So you might as well learn to dance with it, right? It's there to protect us. So in my realm, self-sabotage is just a self-protection. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not an idiot or the other words we say to ourselves. You're just protecting yourself. And now when I first found it, I was like, this is too simple. There is no freaking way. So I went out to try to disprove it. And over the 30 years, researching thousands and thousands of people, not only were able to find it, not to prove it, but found a way to switch it off instantly, and it works 100% of the time. And that's what we call the T now method, T standing for transcend. So when you have any type of adversity, no matter how big or small, by using the T now method, this particular solution we call the antidote, you can turn off self-sabotage instantly, 100% guaranteed, never fails.
Okay. What are some some signs that people can look out for? See if maybe they do have that trait.
So people that looking for, they're procrastinating, they're looking at perfectionism, they overthink too much, right? They find that there's something just blocking them, and no matter where they get to, something's stopping them. Whether they're multimillionaires down to startups, or even children to college children. This works for all rounds of people. People that are scattered all over the place, they have a hard time finishing tasks, or those who are overly giving and they're waiting for that reciprocation, but people just take advantage of their kindness, or those that are kind of quiet and can't verbally express themselves as much. They have a hard time confronting, and they fear of feeling stupid, so they pull back and not express their brilliance. So many different things. Anything that you consider self-protection. So when you start to release your personal professional power and you hit that wall, your saboteur kicks in to protect you. That's it. There's nothing wrong with you. But imagine when you hit that wall, as you start to contract, imagine knowing that there's only one trait that you were born with that is contracting, that is protecting you. And then using what we call the antidote, the exact opposite to it. then you have to go into growth. So now you're doing this compared to doing this, because there's only two things we do. We protect and grow, we contract, we expand, we give and take, we're vibrational beings. So when you feel that you're not in that flow, resistance, or whatever word you want to call it, you are just in protection.
Okay. How did that protection come about? How did it evolve? What's the benefit of it if it's keeping you from doing what you ultimately want to do?
So when you start to, start to wanting this success, subconsciously getting to that point is more painful to sustain it or even to achieve it. So we go back doing what we want to do. So I was able to find that there are actually just three basic fundamentals of self-sabotage. The first one is that you had success before and then you lost it. So if you ever get to that success again, the pain of losing it is more painful. So we never get to that point. So people who've had success and then, a great business and something happened and they lost it and they never want to go through that pain again, or someone who had their heart ripped out by somebody. So they never get to that love again, because if they found it and that person did it again, or they left them, it would be too painful. So they settle for people and not really are with the person they really truly want to be with, or say, no, thank you. I'd rather not have anybody. And they use their business or whatever as their partner. And, so it's lopsided. Their personal and their professional life are not really in balance. Two is that you have to sidestep what's necessary. In other words, I have to listen to this guy talking about self-sabotage. I got to write a book. I got to kick in and listen to Anthony once in a while. I got to do this. I go back to school. You know what? There's a great new show on Netflix. I'm going to binge watch that and then I'll get back to the other stuff, which never happens. So you never do what's necessary to get to that success. The third one is more success equals more pain. Have you ever had a great month, right?
Yep.
A really good month. Next month, it sucked.
Yep.
Right? What happened? Well, more success. What you did to get to that point. Now you're too successful. You didn't have automations in place. You don't have a staff or whatever the case may be. Now, before you couldn't even talk to your family. Now you're never going to see your family, or you can't supply them with the value that you want them. So you stop doing what's necessary because you weren't ready. So more success caused more pain. So you go back and self-sabotage. So those are the three reasons why you basically self-sabotage. And every one of those things come down to this one saboteur trait that you were born with.
Okay. So what's your favorite thing about what you're doing? Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that need help and that you can definitely help with that, but what's your favorite thing?
Well, one is definitely our group coaching. It's very unique. Um, we have people that are all different realms of different industries and things like that, that are just really there to figure out what's happening. So they go through an 8-week course of all the things that it discovered. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what it discovered. So from there, we go down, into it. So they get their inborn sabotaging trait. They find the one word, the subconscious word that stops all their goals, that their own business has its own inborn sabotaging trait and antidote, that they actually sabotage their business and a lot other things. And from one-on-ones and group coaching, they really get to dive deeper into what I do. And it's great. I just love it. It's just seeing people from multiple walks of life just improve in their business, saving marriages, helping them understand their children, helping sell more, increase their closing rates. So it's really great. We work with people that are business owners, executives, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals as well. So, but we've had people in career looking to promote themselves, and we've had people get promoted in 3 to 4 weeks. We've had people in a career wanting to become their own boss. They want to do it, but they're feeling there's a self-sabotage, and they come down to this one thing, and we help them shift over to start that business. So that's one of the things that's really great. And then I just started a membership where we can have people once a month come. It's a monthly membership, so from children to college kids to anybody else can get involved if they don't want to get too involved in coaching.
Okay. So you're saying that it helps more than just somebody that's in business. It's more of a universal help for, younger folks, older folks, people that are career
Yeah, I
thinking.
mean, we had a guy take my workshop because I also do workshops. And had a guy come up to me and he goes, my son's always upstairs playing video games. I can't get him downstairs to interact with the family. So he was really understanding the sequence and himself. And I said, okay, let's figure out what your son was. So after asking a couple of questions, we ascertained what his son's sequence was, how he sabotaged himself. And I told him to do this, this, and this. Within a week, his son was downstairs playing and interacting with the family more. And within 2 months, their relationship skyrocketed because what he found was he was the one pushing his son back in the room. He was the one doing it because he was making fun of him and all that because that's how he grew up. But because of his saboteur, he was trying to help his son that way. Once he realized what his son really needed on a subconscious level, he started doing that and things started to shift. And of course, your personal life and your professional life for one. So we looked at his business, and he was doing the same thing in his business and his clients and his staff. And then he started shifting that, and his business started to grow. So yeah, it helps in the personal and professional life because everything is within you. So when your personal and professional life aren't doing well, it's your saboteur affecting them at the same time. And then when you use the antidote, that T now method, immediately you see a shift and can start moving forward and dealing with the issues at hand.
Okay. So what about power partners? Who are folks to keep an eye out for that might work well with you? Somebody in certain industries or things that you guys refer back and forth well with.
Yeah, business consultants. I don't really dive deep into a business and things like that, or CFOs. That fractional CFOs that are getting into in part of the business, and they're saying that the C-suite is at each other's throats, or the solopreneur CEO is just all over the place. They can't get things going. They're just kind of stuck, and so those are, we have people do that as well as affiliate JV partners that are looking to promote our our programs as well.
Okay, awesome. Um, so people that are self-sabotaging, a lot of times they're just coming out of, the negative. They're like, that sucked. I could have done better. And they're kicking themselves. What's the advice you would give to somebody that's just did it to themselves? That,
Get
hey, here's
excited.
hope.
You're ready to evolve. See what happens is when you hit that wall and things start to get awry, you're ready to evolve. So you subconsciously contract. So get excited because knowing that I'm ready to get to the next level, but I hit that wall, but you don't know. But once you understand that, you can then shift it. So write this sentence down for everybody, for you guys, is that when you hit that wall, ask yourself this question. Why am I protecting myself at this moment in time? I'll say that again. Why am I protecting myself at this moment in time? Just had a client and dealing with his saboteur. He realized what his saboteur meant and how his antidote was working. It was like, and I told him, I said, at that moment, you have to ask yourself, why is it more painful not to get this done? Right? Because we were talking to him, and he was like, if I don't get this done, then his wife is his partner, she's going to yell at me and all that. And I said, what's really interesting, the reason is because not doing that is less painful, it is more painful than hearing your wife screaming. So shift it around. If I don't do this, my wife's going to be more stressed. And do I want to do that? And he just looked at me. It was like, that's brilliant. He's like, I never thought of that that way. But I used his words particularly. That was his saboteur. If it was another saboteur, I would use different words that would resonate more with them. And that's the key. And that's why, I took Robbins and Rowe and Zig. They're brilliant stuff, all that great stuff, but it's general. It's not specific. So once we do is we help them to understand um, what their saboteur is, right? Now you take that brilliance and put it on your antidote. And now you start seeing it. The antidote is what repeats success over and over again. So once you understand it, then you realize that, oh my goodness, this is the reason why I was successful in the past. And not using it, now I know why I wasn't successful in the past or at this moment. So imagine knowing in the future when you hit those walls, knowing that there's only one thing to focus on.
Perfect. Is there anything that I failed to ask that you wanted to mention? Anything that I might have missed?
No, it's pretty, it's basically, we're hitting the tip of the iceberg that we have. This goes much, much deeper into, that's why it took 30 years of my life to discover it. There's nothing like this in the world. So I always joke that if people want to know something totally different, like totally different, then we have that.
Okay. If somebody wants to skip 30 years of figuring out themselves and wants to get a hold of you directly, what's the best way that they do that?
They can hit, they can check me out on LinkedIn or other social media. They can go to the teamnowmasterclass.com. The masterclass is a 12-minute training that kind of goes different into what I do and goes a little different. And at that time, they can actually make a discovery call, and we just have a conversation. So here's the key. Because you have money and you breathe, doesn't mean you get into the program. I've said no to a lot of people because I want to make sure they're a candidate for this program. If they're a candidate, what happens is now we go through that 30-minute discovery call. If you are, then we go into an hour, go deeper to determine three things. If you are really truly for this, if you are able to uh, 5 times your investment, and how much can you guarantee, what we can guarantee your results. So we really guarantee your results on that.
Perfect. Well, I recommend people do get a hold of you, have that conversation, start looking because when you say self-sabotage and you start to lay it out, I think almost everybody has some level of it. Some are definitely have it worse than others, but I think most everybody could definitely benefit from, a little bit of education, a little bit of fixing something.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just one thing for the rest of your life. And people look at me that like I'm actually nuts, which I am, but that's another story. But yeah, just this one thing, and we prove it. So that's the whole bit. It's not like, well, it works 70%. It works 100% of the time. And I remember a marketer told me one time, he says, you should just say 97%. It's more believable. And I said, why do I want to lie to these people? It works 100% because it's actually a law that I discovered because the law works 100% of the time. So yeah, so if people don't believe it, that's just their saboteur stopping them because they got screwed in the past, and that's understandable. But something to think about, and you know, I just have conversations. I don't sell anybody. We just have a conversation, and if this is right for you, I'll tell you. If it isn't, I'll tell you that too. So I don't want anybody in my program that's not right for you, because it just messes everybody else up. So
Absolutely. And I recommend you have that conversation. If you are a little bit more shy, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to make the introduction, but I'm going to post all of his links in the description. So you don't have to look for it, right? Let's just make it as
yeah,
easy as possible.
absolutely.
If anybody out there like to be interviewed, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'll have my link tree in the description. But again, Phil, I really appreciate you coming on, taking your time pouring into us. I think a lot of people need to hear this. But yeah, I appreciate it. And let's all get out there and meet some people. All right.
All right, thank you so much. Great conversation. Thanks, Anthony.
My pleasure.